Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video it's going to be a short one, just going through my Dark Magician Girl collection. I want to basically just talk about why I bought every one that I did and which ones I'm still missing and I'm looking to acquire. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first card that we're going to start with is the most iconic one, the Magician's Force First Edition DMG. This card right here is probably the most sought after Dark Magician Girl in the Western world. I mean, I can't really imagine anybody else going for anything more than this. This is from Magician's Force, the first appearance in the English language, and it's probably one of the more iconic cards. Like, if you were to name the top 4 cards in the TCG, I would say that this is definitely top 1 or 2. This card is the secret rare from Magician's Force. I had to have this one because this is the first time I ever saw Dark Magician Girl in a card form. This is probably like the second highest end one that I have in my collection. However, I would say that this one means the most to me out of everything else that I have. I picked this up from Sassy Auto. I actually had like a couple initially, but they just weren't as perfect as this one. This one has perfect centering, no whitening, nothing, no silvering on the edges. It was like the perfect copy. I ended up trading actually one of my other ones plus a Pokemon Red for this copy right here, and this is going to be staying in my collection for a very long time. Definitely like the best looking one out of everything I have. So this is the Dark Magician Girl from MFC. The next DMG that I have is the Lost Art one. This is the most recent acquisition that I have. I picked this up in the recent mail day. I bought this off of eBay. I believe I paid around like $500 for this. I mean, the raw card is like 70 bucks and it's extremely hard to grade, so I thought it was a no-brainer. This is special to me because this is actually a short printed card. This was not released as much as the other Lost Arts, and you can tell just on the market it really doesn't pop up as often. This has the Kazuki Takahashi signature on the bottom right, so this means that the border is lacking here, right? Like if you compare it to something like this, you can see that there's a nice thick border on the MFC one. However, on the Lost Art, there is none of that. So this is the first edition of the Lost Art Dark Magician Girl, or this artwork. This is obviously the first appearance of this artwork. And the second edition is basically just coded as EN035, and it has the traditional Yu-Gi-Oh card borders. That one was a reprint because this was short printed due to the COVID issues. So that's that. And then the next one is the most recently released Dark Magician Girl. This is the Dark Side of Dimension movie pack one. This is the ultra rare variant, which is the first release of this card. This was actually quite hard to grade. Like, I mean, I looked at the pop report and it's one of the lowest compared to all the others. Now, yes, it's the least graded, but just ratio wise, it seems to be very difficult to grade. I picked this up for, I believe, like 300 bucks, and I'm really happy with this one. This is the first appearance of this artwork, so it was a must have for me. I don't know if I'll pick up the other ones. I'm not too much of a fan for the gold rares. I think they look quite bad, to be honest with you. And then the secret rare is just a little too easy to grade, so I might pick it up like way down the line when it's like extremely cheap, maybe like $50 or something. The next up is Toon Dark Magician Girl, but this is not any regular one. This is the SP2. This is Enemy of Justice sneak peek copy. This is actually the first release of Toon Dark Magician Girl. Most people saw this card in the Shonen Jump magazine. It was released around 3 to 4 months earlier than the Jump one. So this is why I had to have this copy, not the Jump one. The Jump one is actually the same rarity, literally pretty much everything the exact same except for the code right here. This is what gives this one a lot more value than the other one. This is actually a lot more rare as well. I traded this for a starter deck Yugi with a fellow Instagrammer and a viewer of the channel. I really appreciate it. This card is going to go in my collection for a very long time and it's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's the Toon DMG, the Lolly Dark Magician Girl. Next up is Japanese Dark Magician Girl. This is the 20th anniversary release. This thing is just ridiculous. I mean, the way that this thing shines is incredible. It's not quite like Starlight's. I think that this has a little bit more shine. This has the prismatic feel as well to it. I really like this one. It has a nice 20th anniversary stamp embossed into the card itself. This comes out of a dual disc memorial DVD, which is basically, I think it's like a movie or something, or maybe like a making of. I never really watched it, but I know that this was a promo in there. I picked this up for around $1,000, and it is from a fellow Instagrammer. I thought that was a great price, to be honest, because the DVDs themselves are going for like $700-800. So it's basically get the DVD, crack it out, and hope to get a PSA 10. I mean, the pop is not low on this, but it's just such a beautiful card that a lot of people really prize it. And I think the raw copy goes for like $600-700. So PSA 10 for, you know, $1,000 is not a bad deal at all, especially when grading is like $100-150. This was extremely short printed. I mean, this thing shot up like crazy back in the day. I think it was released in 2019. Yeah, I mean, like, look at this thing. It's just absolutely beautiful. The hollow pattern pops. This is considered a top tier DMG, so it was a must have for my collection. That's the dual disc 20th anniversary Dark Magician Girl Gem Mint 10. Last but not least is the most expensive card, and probably the most expensive card in my collection. You guys have seen this girl before. This is the G3-11 Secret Rare Tournament card. This card was released in 2000. It's the first release of Dark Magician Girl. This card has never seen any physical form before this copy. This was awarded to the winners of that tournament, and this has everything going for it. It's truly probably the most well-regarded prize card. Everybody wants to own this. Prize card collectors, Dark Magician Girl collectors, set collectors, they all go after this card. However, it's pretty much unattainable for most people. I mean, it was unattainable for me until I traded like an arm and a leg for this. I traded around $90,000 worth of stuff for this card. It did grade a Gem Mint 10, so I'm very happy about that, and this card really deserved this grade. It is absolutely beautiful, and this is one of those cards where I will never let it go, because if I do, I will never ever get it back again. So this one comes with this envelope right here. It actually has a small side loading sleeve inside. This envelope alone goes for like $400 or $500, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm really happy that I own this one right here. So this is my Dark Magician Girl collection so far. I have 6 different copies, 3 of which are original arts, and then 2 of which are the first appearance in the OCG and the TCG. Now let's get on to the sealed product. This is one of the few items that has like Dark Magician Girl on the cover. This came out in 2005, and it has an exclusive first appearance of a Dark Magician Girl artwork inside. There's really not too much out there for Dark Magician Girl, so that's what I have so far. Let's move on to the cards I'm actually trying to chase down in PSA 10 condition. Alright, so this should be fun. The first card I want to chase down is the DPYG EN008 First Edition PSA 10. This is the first appearance of this artwork in the TCG. It comes out in Duelist Pack Yugi, which was a very abundant box a couple years ago, but now it's practically impossible to find. This one shouldn't be too difficult. There's not a lot graded at the moment, but it's not really a hard card to find. I do plan on picking one up in the future if I see one as a PSA 10. If not, I'll probably just grade one myself. The second card that I'm trying to chase down is the CT2004. This is the one that I showed in the tin previously. This is also the first appearance of that artwork in the TCG. I'm trying to pick that one up for like the sub $500, but I don't think that's realistic right now, so I most likely have to grade one myself. I really like this artwork because of the secret rare and the exclusivity in the tin. Now we're getting into like a little bit of harder cards to find. The first one is the Legendary Collection Yugi's World First Edition. This card is pretty much like non-existent in PSA 10. I think it's like pop 10 or something like that. I'm trying to pick that one up, also try to grade it myself. This is a very expensive card in raw form, so I expect that the first edition should go for a pretty penny for sure. The other TCG variant that I would want to pick up is the DL18 variations. I know there's the green, blue, red, and a bunch of different colors. I will try to pick those up. However, those are a little bit more like far down on my list of chasing because it's just a common card. It is a little bit rare, but it's not really that special to me. It doesn't look that great. It's just the original art with different colored letters. So I don't know, that one's I'm iffy about. I don't want to pay too much. I expect maybe like $800 for a PSA 10 for each of the colors. So that's what I'm trying to aim for. I likely won't pay more than that. The last card in the TCG that I'm looking to pick up is the Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, the secret rare from Dragons of Legends 1. That card was short printed in the set. I opened multiple boxes and I couldn't pull it. So I definitely think that's quite a hard card to come by. It's not hard to come by in PSA 10 though. I graded like 5 or 6 of them myself back in the day. I sold them all for like $200 to $300. Now I'm expecting to pay around $800 to $1,000 for a PSA 10. I'm gonna try and aim for the $800 mark. I think 800 is the perfect balance between, you know, the person getting a good deal for the grading and then a good deal for me, like long term, so that it doesn't like drop too much. I do think that they're all gonna level off at around the $500 mark because they're not really that special in terms of rarity. All right, now we're gonna go on to the Asian English Dark Magician Girl. This is basically the exact same as the regular MFC one. The only difference is the back is English, and what's really cool about this is that it has reverse foiling on the secret rare. This error never happened in the TCG, so I think that adds a little bit of flavor for that card. I think in PSA 10 it's a pop one, so if I want one, I definitely have to grade my own. Right now, I'm probably gonna stay away because the price is unbelievably high. It ranges from like the $2,000 to $4,000 for a raw copy, so I'm not touching that at the moment. Maybe if it levels off a little bit and comes down in price, I might go for it. I'm expecting to pay around $3,000 to $4,000 for the PSA 10 and not for the raw copy. Now we're moving on to the Japanese chase ones that I'm looking for. The first one is the 2017 Ghost. This one is probably gonna be very expensive, but not hard to find because there's quite a bit of them in PSA 10. I am trying to aim for the $6,000 to $7,000 mark on this card. I'm not trying to pay more than that. I know that they go for a little bit more than that, but I do believe that they will come down in price, so I'm gonna wait out the $6,000 to $7,000 in terms of price tag. One was actually sold for $7,000 on Facebook, so I unfortunately missed it, but I am looking for in that price range for that card. The other Japanese prize card that I'm looking for is the 2000 Rare Promo. This is basically my G3 exactly. However, the only difference is that it has rare text and no foiling, and it's more abundant. So I'm looking to pick that up. That one I'm aiming for the $6,000 to $7,000 mark as well for the PSA 10. I don't think that those types of cards go for a lot of money because of the PSA 10 value. It's more of the acquisition cost. So because of that, I don't want to put too much of a premium for just the grade. Another Japanese card that I'm going for is the G6 Toon Dark Magician Girl Ultra Rare. This was an either misprint or special release where it's like very short printed. It's extremely rare. I think the PSA 10 goes for around $3,000 to $4,000. I'm not really gonna pay that for a Toon DMG. I'm not like a lolly lover or anything like that. I'm just trying to buy it for the collection. So I'm aiming for like the $1,000 to $1,200 mark for the PSA 10 of the G6 Toon DMG Ultra Rare. Last but not least, in terms of like the high chase, the ones that I definitely want in my collection and I'm not too iffy about, is the DDM Trio ×3. So basically there's the 3 artworks that come in 3 different rarities. I'm trying to pick up all 9 of them in PSA 10. They go for around the $1,000 mark each, so it will be a pretty penny. I am waiting though because these cards are not rare at all. They're quite hard to find in PSA 10, but they're not like, you know, extremely difficult. There's many of them on eBay for the $4,000 to $6,000 mark, but I've seen them all sell for around like the $1,000 to $2,000 mark. So I'm gonna aim for the 1,000. If they come my way, I'll pick them up. If not, then I'll just hold out until more people start grading them. I don't think that they'll be very expensive in the future, because I honestly think that there's so many of them that, you know, I'm not too worried about, you know, missing out on those for now. And now the ones that I want to pick up but don't really want to pick up right now because I feel like the price is way too high is Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight Japanese prismatic rare, as well as the alternate art for that. I think those two have enough rarity to them that I'm intrigued, if that makes sense. They're not just like common cards that you can just pick up easily. So I am intrigued by the rarity. However, I think that the price is a little too high. The pops are insanely high. They're like 300 plus each. So there's no chance I'm paying a lot more than the raw copies price for the PSA 10. So those I have to wait for until people start dropping the prices, because I mean the price is just ridiculous. They're all pop 300 plus and they're trying to get like $1,000 each, which is not happening from my pockets. And then last but not least is the Rush Tool DMG. This card is graded to Oblivion. I feel like it's going to be graded like up to pop 1,000. I think that that card will finish off in the $50 range. I don't think that it'll be extremely sought after or extremely rare. So I'm going to wait to pick it up for the $50. If not, I probably grade one myself. I have many copies in my binder, so I'll probably just grab one of those and grade them myself once they, you know, put out the economy tier. But right now, I'm okay like holding off on those because I really don't think that they're worth the urgency. So yeah, that's my chase list so far. There is one more card, but I don't think I'll ever be able to get that one. Like I actually think that that one's harder to acquire in PSA 10 than the G3, which is the Korean first edition Dark Magician Girl. This is the only one like on the Japanese side that has like the secret rare foiling, the traditional one. So yeah, like that one, the only picture I even found is like some beat up copy. So I don't think I'll be able to get that anytime soon. I don't think I'll ever be able to get it, to be honest with you. But if it does come up in PSA 9, 8 condition, I'll definitely grab it. I just don't see it happening. So yeah, it's a pipe dream kind of card. So yeah, that's basically everything that I have and everything that I'm chasing. If you have these cards and are asking reasonable prices, definitely hit me up on Instagram or my email. I'm definitely interested in picking some up from you if you have them. Comment down below if I missed any Dark Magician Girls. And that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.